Hey guys, Demi here from Atlas Vibration Spirituality, and I'm here with your Mercury Retrograde and Sagittarius collective update. So for those of you that are watching from different parts of the country, depending on what hemisphere you're in, daylight savings is here, so sorry for all the wonky lighting. And we have a new, it's not new. I've had this microphone for a little while, and I finally decided how to learn how to use it properly. And now you'll be able to hear me when I talk a lot better. So that's actually really nice. I'm excited because you guys will be able to hear me now. And not all the electronics going off in my room. But yay. So I know I'm a little bit late to the ball game here, and I'm glad that I actually got the chance to take the time to do this later. You guys will still get your video over the next few days, probably more on Monday, of the new moon in Sagittarius, which is tomorrow. So there are a lot of different things kind of going on here, and I will probably do this video kind of joint with the new moon, because whatever you're reviewing now is what's happening. But let's see what we get here, and then I'll determine how I'm going to do the video tomorrow. But let's focus on Mercury retrograde just for the time being today. So Mercury went retrograde on November 25th at 9:43 p.m. Eastern Time and at 22 degrees of Sagittarius. So the thing that Spirit wants us to take from this Mercury retrograde is the truth and injustices we see with the naked eye and the truths that we are telling ourselves. So think back to what has been happening during the last few weeks, and from the beginning of November, right? What were those things that you were reviewing in your mind? How were you speaking to yourself, right? And thinking about how these injustices and where they happen and what they cause us to rethink or reimagine what happened, right? Rethinking and saying, no, this is the truth, and seeing and knowing that this is, once again, truly what happened. And so we are reviewing and continuing to review how we think of the truth, what the truth actually is, how are we speaking to other people, and are we speaking from a place of wisdom, or are we harboring all the shadow energy and being really blunt and acting like a know-it-all, right? So let's go over Sagittarius energy very quickly. And Sagittarius, I'm a Sagittarius moon. I know a couple Sagittarius moon people, and I love them to death. And it's a fire sign. It's masculine. This is one of the most positive signs of the zodiac, and it rules the body part of the thighs, the Wheel of Fortune in tarot, and also Temperance because of the Jupiter connection as well with the Wheel of Fortune. So this is also something that I wanted to touch on as well, and we'll get into this in a second. But Sagittarius and its light energy is a very leadership heavy sign. They make some of the greatest leaders that you'll ever meet because they're very independent. They hold a lot of wisdom. They're positive, they're kind, they're deep, and they're very honest people. They love to have fun. They're very non-committal for most people. They like to be much more in their own energy. Like, you can never tell a Sagittarius what to do. Like, that's not them. And in their shadow energy, they're very know-it-all. They can be blunt. They run from their problems. They're not emotional people in the least one bit. They don't want to deal with it. They're very impatient, and they're unapologetic. And I can say that's very true. We do whatever we want whenever we feel like it. We don't like to be told what to do. They are not people who deal well with being told what to do or how to do things. Like, it's a no-go for them. So something that I've been finding over the last few days of this retrograde, right? Being that Sagittarius is ruled by Temperance, which is healing as well, balance, harmony. It can mean that, and especially when it comes to Temperance, but that's more about learning lessons. Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter, and what a lot of people don't know about Jupiter is that Jupiter in our solar system protects us. It is the protector. It pulls in from its gravitational pull all of the asteroids and things, it keeps a lot of things out of our way so we don't die. And that is something that is important because it has a very masculine, protective, fatherly-ish energy. It makes a great ruler in that way. And it's also not like ironic that, or I can't talk obviously, but because of the retrograde, but it's not a coincidence that this planet has an opportunity to evolve into a second sun if it wanted to, or a sun-like entity. And it also has a lot of moons as well, and it's not a coincidence being that its gravitational pull pulls a lot of things in, so it has plenty of moons in that. But let's talk about the cycles, right? And this is where I think this is why I was not led to doing this video earlier. Over the last few days, I've been realizing that I've been going back to square one with a lot of deep cycles in my life. And one that I can give you an example of is me and my situation and where I'm at in life. And for some of you that know me personally, I'm not going to give all the details, but I want you all to think about this, being that I'm moving into a space now where my career is essentially changing, right? And I've been stuck in the same cycle and realized it of how I have felt about where my career was going, how I was treated during that time, and seeing that I'm still in the same place of feeling like I don't have enough to keep going and not liking the way that my career is going due to some unforeseen circumstances, right? And so the thing that I can say is I'm still in that same cycle. And I need to break it. And I've been thinking about it. And I've been needing to tell myself the truth about this cycle so I can learn from this cycle, right? It's those deep cycles of coming back, right? And that's the universal rhythm, is that circular rhythm. It always goes in circles, like in the flower of life. So what I want you guys to take from this Mercury retrograde is, which is good, and I feel it in a good way because it's very positive, right? Like, I will say that I have not had a lot of, like, any really super bad interactions with people. Like, everybody's talking positively. Everybody maybe is reviewing how they can speak from a positive mindset. And this is what I want you guys to remember, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Sagittarius, we're very angry people at times. It's a fire sign. So yeah, we're going to get angry, but we get over it quickly. And when we do get angry, it does explode. It can be very explosive, but you get over it in 10 minutes and it's kind of done. So this is what I'm noticing, right? Like, you'll have your outbursts of anger and whatnot in your verbal words, but I recommend not getting into fights if you can. Now, with Mercury retrograde, like any other retrograde, right, you've heard me talk about it multiple times. This is not a good time to sign any contracts, make any verbal agreements that you can't uphold to. This is not the time to be literally physically traveling. Like, I tell people all the time, like, you're going to run into problems, especially because Sagittarius rules long-term travel. Mercury is more of in the home sign, or is the sign that rules Virgo and Gemini, so it rules short-term travel. Sagittarius and Gemini are opposites on the wheel, so once again, long-term travel, short-term travel, right? You've been seeing traffic has been really bad. Highways have been backed up. There's construction being done. The weather is absolutely horrendous. Like, at times we went from having a drought to, like, now we have all this rain and it just got cold all of a sudden. Like, it just went from that. But fun fact, because Mercury rules weather and how we travel with that, they're finding, I've read something today that on, like, from the Weather Channel or somewhere, from a weather source, real source, that winter doesn't start like we think that it does. Like, it doesn't have a set specific date. Like, it doesn't, it's fluidity, right? Like, just like everything. And it has to do with timing, and it has to do with Saturn and Pisces. And I've talked about this with one of my friends. And so this is, like, important to kind of start seeing that, you know, everything isn't so set in stone. So winter sometimes does not technically start until now. Like, and we can have very warm days. Like, I'm not saying global warming doesn't exist, but it's just one of those things where it kind of does it on its own. The earth kind of does it in its way. And we do have a factor in which we play with that from external sources. But that's something to think about with Sagittarius, because wisdom, right? We learn. We are the teacher. We are the master. We are learning to master our own thoughts. And so what Sagittarius rules in the zodiac is morals, values, the freedom. It rules also education. Gemini is more of the student, where Sagittarius is more of the master. So you are completely reviewing how you think positively. How are you telling yourself the truths? And it rules also philosophy. It rules the justice system to an extent, because this is where we break free from these, I don't want to say limiting beliefs, but it's always this part of that, Sagittarius, that wants to break free from the status quo, right? They're not people who do things like following the leader. They lead. They do that. So you're seeing how your thoughts are leading you. You're seeing how you are being free in your own mind and being able to talk about your own truths. And so the key thing that we need to take with this, Spirit's advice to us through the through the Mercury retrograde, is we have the Father of Wands or the King of Wands upright, and I have the 10 of Pentacles upright. So this is where we need to get clear on our goals. I'm even hearing for some family. This is also about us stepping into that fire energy and that Sagittarian energy and understanding that we can be our own leaders. We can dictate our own lives. We can delegate to other people, especially when it comes for some. I'm hearing your finances. But this is important because what Spirit wants us to know is we can have that life. And think about it. You are the one that's in control, and it's coming from Scorpio energy, right? We talked about this. Scorpio being this energy where we can create. It's a creation energy. So what comes after this is Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is about the passion and the wisdom that we do have, and knowing that we have learned enough. We are the master. We have enough wisdom. We can teach, we can show, and we can be the leader, and we can delegate from that. So how are you being in control of your own life and knowing in your own freedom? How are you delegating this? How are you delegating the tasks and saying, no, I can't do this? The Father of Wands or the King of Wands is all about having loyal people who follow you or do the things that you ask. But this is also about respect, right? If it was reversed, this would be a dictator or something else. It is about showing people respect and honoring that and giving the people wisdom to teach them, and the education and understanding that you are the one running the show and you need to do this in your own life for your own dreams, your own reality, and all of these things that make you feel good and materially in your earthly reality. The best practical action for us to take to continue learning, healing, and moving through in this cycle is we have the Ace of Wands reversed. And this is very important too, because I'm realizing too that I am breaking free from these limitations that do not give me happiness. Like, I'm letting these things go. I'm seeing where I need to break free from with my words and how I speak, and seeing that I need to do the things that are more passionate and that bring me that passion. Oh, excuse me, I got a cough. Give me 1 sec. Sorry about that. So some of you guys may have needed to clear out your throat chakra, but I apologize. And that was probably really loud. I should have muted that, but yes. So being more passionate, more driven, and understanding that we can do the things that we are passionate about and we are good enough to do it. We have every righteousness in that way. So I hope that this resonated with you. I hope that you guys continue to use your words for speak your truths and think your truths, and move away from these realities in which we continue to gaslight ourselves, and understand that, you can tell yourself the truth. That is okay to say to yourself, this person hurt me. It is okay to say that this is the reality in which I am living in. And it is okay for you to be free. It's okay. Okay? So until next time, namaste.